right, and those are your finalists for 3x3 one-handed. Top two seeds, Patrick Ponce and Max Park, both of the United States. Both equally poised to take this out. You might say Patrick has a little bit of more favour just because of how consistent he is and been winning the last round as well.
He's also notably had a lot more time to warm up because Max Park and a few other people in this final have been very busy in the past few rounds.
They're just too good.
They are.
Too good for their own good.
Okay, everyone in the top four getting ready for their first solves. Right. Patrick is inspecting. Very quick start. And he's already on last pair. Oh, bit of a lock-up. And that is a 10.07 for Patrick Ponce.
It's looked like a little bit of an issue with the turning just leading into that last layer. But nets him still a time that's close to the 10-second mark. Fair bit away from what he was averaging in the first round. Now we have Dwayne Ramos. He's dropped the cube. Looked like he might have had a corner twist.
12.05. Max Park starting his solve, while Juliet Sebastian on the red stage is moving through F12 on PLL at 7 seconds. 9.999. And Max with a 9.19.
We've also missed Kaiwen Wang on the blue stage, starting off with an 8.16 to begin. That's a pretty solid solve.
And that is a Chinese Taipei national record.
That's one way to start off your final round.
We've got Felix Zemdegs, the GOAT of one-handed.
And just off camera at the moment, we have Patrick Ponce that has received the cube for his second solve. We'll give you updates on that one.
Oh, Felix moving very quickly. Onto PLL just over 7.5 seconds, and that's 10.51 for him.
Looked like a great case for that PLL.
All right, moving back, we've got Patrick Ponce on the red stage, getting ready for his second solve. And we've got Dwayne Ramos on the blue stage, finishing off with a 9.01. He doesn't look happy with that. Looks like there was a bit of trouble on the LSE. For those
definitely more potential on that solve, so that's why he might be unhappy with that.
For those that don't know, Dwayne Ramos uses Ru, which is a method which finishes with only M and U moves. So you'll always see him use the table at the end of his solve.
Okay, Patrick Ponce now is counting that 10.07 on the first solve due to a 13.31 that he's just had on his second. Not off to a fantastic start.
Luke Garrett on the red stage. Off to a somewhat slow start. Hopefully he can bring it back.
Max Park in inspection on blue stage on the left. Looks like Dwayne's just doing a practice solve.
9.37 for Luke Garrett. He's very happy with that.
Solid from Luke. We turn our attention to Max now. He's just underway now. Just onto the last layer at about 7 seconds. And not quite sub 10. It's a 10.27.
And Juliet Sebastian with a 9.67. That is 2 sub 10s for Juliet Sebastian so far.
Luke Garrett also with 2 sub 10s so far, a 9.64 and that 9.37 that we saw on stream. Kaiwen Wang unfortunately following up that 8.16 from the first solve with a time almost 2 times slower, a 16.35.
And Dwayne solving, and that is going to be, oh, bit of trouble. Oh, no. Oh, and that's a 12.42. So that likely putting him out of the running for a podium.
That means that the 12 he had on the first solve is counting. And on the topic of Ru users, Sean Patrick Villanueva, recently picking up one-handed, has a 9.28 and an 8.56. So it looks like he's putting himself in a really, really commanding position to start after those first two.
And we've got Patrick solving on the red stage, moving very quickly. And, oh, a bit of trouble. That's a 9.79. So actually, Sean Patrick Villanueva is looking like the current frontrunner of this group, followed closely by Juliet Sebastian. Max Park getting ready for his third solve. Can't see much of Max's cube, but it looks like he's got a 10.76 solve. Dwayne Ramos getting ready for his fourth solve. Juliet Sebastian, one of our front runners, doing very well. And that is a third sub 10 for Juliet Sebastian, 9.28.
Stone Cold Killer knows that ZBLL, does it to perfection, 9.28.
And a 9.08 for Dwayne Ramos. Very unexpected turn of events in this final, seeing some underdogs come up ahead.
Felix Zemdeg's getting a warm reception from the crowd with a 9.29 second single.
And Patrick on, I believe, his fourth solve. Oh, yeah, fourth solve. Getting a 9.31. He'll be satisfied with that.
So after that, Patrick Ponce now, he has potential for a sub 10 average. His best possible average, if he's able to get better than 9.31, it was a 9.72 average.
And that is another sub 10 for Sean Patrick Villanueva, looking very strong in this group. Him and Julia Sebastian are doing very, very well.
We've seen Andrei Shea of Russia getting a 7.75. Not his PR, he has a 6 as far as I'm aware. And Max Park dropping another sub 10 there, 9.26 on his fourth.
Luke Garrett, also a very strong player in this final, completing his fourth solve now. Oh, or on OLL, and he knows the ZB. 8.65. Very, very good.
He's counting two sub 10s now. Luke Garrett, he's had a podium in clock already, but his best possible average for one-handed is 9.22. That's the best of all we've seen so far from those who've done their fourth solve.
And this is fourth solve for Juliet Sebastian.
Starting now. So again, this is
oh,
fast.
Oh,
OLL's
and an
done.
OLL skip.
This is fast.
Oh, and messing up on the UPM, 10.41.
That's the slowest solve for her so far.
A best possible average of 9.65 and a worst possible of 10.02.
So that worst possible average is a 10.02. Luke, however, is sitting at a worst possible of 10 flat. So Luke guaranteed 10 seconds flat or better. This is an exciting final, man. This is going to be so good to see how it comes out on top in these latter stages.
And Dwayne Ramos finishing up with a 10.39 average, followed by Nicholas Archer from the United Kingdom with a 10.93 average.
Also missed Antonio Cam on his last solve, a new Asian record. New Asian record single of 6.45 for Antonio Cam. We have Patrick, who's finished his average now.
Luke Garrett doing his last solve now. Luke Garrett inspecting. We can't see him on. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, now we can. I've got eyes on Luke Garrett, and he is getting a. Oh,
he's happy with that.
That's a 10.98. 10.89.
10.89 plus 2.
That is giving him his worst possible average of 10.00 seconds.
So it's still beating Patrick Ponce by 0.01. It's just been entered into the WCA Live, and the crowd has noticed.
Also notably, Sean Patrick Villanueva getting a 9.52 on his fourth solve, setting him up for a possible podium. Juliet Sebastian, last solve of the average. Also a contender for a podium.
Okay, and Juliet Sebastian, a worst possible average of 10.02.
She will win. Oh,
Juliet
and that's got it to Juliet Sebastian.
This is incredible stuff. That's her best solve with the average. It's a 9.65. She's in the lead. 9.52. The only one that has a chance of beating that is Sean Patrick Villanueva. He hasn't done his fifth solve yet.
If Sean Patrick Villanueva gets a best solve, he's guaranteed one. Sean Patrick is the world champion.
Sean Patrick's world champion.
He's guaranteed the win.
Wow. 9.42, worst possible average.
So no matter what Sean gets right now, he will win one-handed, with Juliet Sebastian very close behind in second place.
We saw the fireworks from Juliet Sebastian finishing really, really strong with that solve, but Sean Patrick sewed this up. It doesn't matter what he gets. This one's just for show.
Oh, Ruhong Zhu, we haven't shown him on stream yet. He's got a best possible average of 9.33, which can win if Sean Patrick Van Waver gets a worst possible average.
No.
Oh, okay. And that will be a worst possible average for Sean Patrick Van Waver of 9.42. It all comes down to Ruhong Zhu's final solve of 10.5.